Spring sucks. At least in my neck of the woods, it does. I'm talking about the Midwest, and for those of you who are familiar with the Midwest, you understand what I mean. Let me explain to you how it sucks. So, when springtime comes, you expect there to be a warm up. You expect there, after enduring a harsh winter, and this winter was sort of bad. The winter before this one in 2014 was I think worse, but this one wasn't that great either. The one last year was I think was worse than this one. The point is that after enduring that, when springtime comes, you expect it to get instantly better for some reason or another. Unfortunately, for us here in the Midwest, it only gets like slightly better. But when springtime comes, it's still cold, and even worse than that is when it actually gets warm and it becomes all bipolar-ish. So like, let me give you an example. A few weeks ago was a perfect example. Monday, it was very warm. It was super warm, summer like warm weather. Unfortunately, I had to work that day, and I also had class, so I had barely any time to even enjoy that weather. And by the time I got a chance to like get a chance to experience it, it was 6 o'clock, and it was cold. It actually got cold. The temperature had dropped. It got colder again, which sucked. So then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday also cold. Friday sort of warm. Saturday cold. Sunday warm. And so yeah, you understand what I mean. And the same thing has been happening for the past week, and it also happened again the past few days. Friday was warm. Friday night was warm. Saturday morning was warm, but by the time it was like the late afternoon on Saturday, yesterday, it was cold. There's no other way to describe it. It was cold. I was walking outside, I'm like, geez, this is terrible. And to make matters worse, it was raining. Fortunately, I had an umbrella, but yeah, it was raining. It got pretty bad at times. That's what I'm going to tell you folks, basically, is spring sucks. I can't really speak for any other regions or parts of the world. Of course, it varies depending on where you live. But for my area of the world, it sucks. Because you hope it's going to get better. But deep down inside, a part of you knows, not really. No, it's not going to get that much better. It'll get slightly better, but it won't get so much better to the point where it's like warm all the time. Another bad part about spring is when it gets warm and you let your guard down. So yeah, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, like how it got warm, so then people let their guard down. They would come outside without any jackets on, without any kind of layerings on, and it would be cold, and that would suck. And it does suck. It's inconvenient. It sucks. Of course, it's not super, super cold like winter weather, but it still sucks. It's cold still. It's an inconvenience. And what sucks about it is that you endured it for so long now that by the time it happens again and again and again in the spring, it sucks. Also, another thing I want to point out is this saying we have. I don't know if other parts of the world use this, or other parts of the states use this for this matter. April showers bring May flowers. The way I look at things, April is just a mild version of winter at this point. And instead, I believe it should be May showers bring June flowers. That's the way I see it. Maybe at one point it made sense to say April showers bring May flowers, but over the past few years I've noticed that in April it doesn't really rain. It doesn't really rain that much anyway. In May it does. It rains a lot more in May. So yeah, basically, spring sucks because it's very frustrating. It's a very frustrating time. Another thing I also want to point out is there's no guarantee it's going to get better in the summer. Last year's summer in this area wasn't that great either. There were times where it did get a bit chilly for summer temperatures. So, that's another disappointing thing is there's also no guarantee that it's going to get better during the summer. Now, it did get better at times, but at certain times where you expected it to be warm because, it's summer, it wasn't warm, which is disappointing. So yeah, that's the suckiness about weather in this area. It's bipolar, basically. And if you're from this area, you can understand that. And yeah, spring is very frustrating, and spring has the potential to suck. I'm MySpace. Take care, folks.